much. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. It's the year of 2023. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. This is our first class for this year, beautiful year of 2023. I want to wish you all a blessed year. I do hope that all your dreams come true this year and so much more. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight with us. My name is Leigh Bella Ralston. I'm also known as Mommy Leigh on the internet. I'm with Faber-Castell USA. Together with Michael Stores, we bring you these classes every week. This month, we'll be doing all Wednesdays, and I think we'll be doing that for the rest of the year. We'll have all Wednesdays, so I hope that you'll keep your Wednesdays with me. So anyways, today's class, I was just sharing on social media today that this class is going to be super fun, super chilled, super easy, just because I don't know about you. I know personally, I didn't do anything super creative during the holiday. I was present. I wanted to really enjoy the family, enjoy the moment and be present there. So I know I need a little bit of practice before doing anything extravagant for this year. So that's why I picked this class, because I wanted something simple, something that we can just kind of okay, we need to slowly dip our toes back in there again, creating. So if this is your first time joining me for a class, hello, and it's very nice to meet you. I'm so glad that you are here. We are very relaxed when we're doing classes. And again, like what Chanel said, this class will be available on YouTube for a replay after 24 to 48 hours. So I'm usually pretty slow, pretty calm, but if you have any questions during the class, please do let me know. I will see the chat section in here. But yeah, I'm super excited. Let's get this class started. As you can see, I have a dark paper in here because the set that I'll be working with is this set from Faber-Castell. This is lots of fingerprints and DNA here. This is the 4 Pitt Artist Pen black and white set. So in this set, you will find a brush tip. You have a 1.5, sorry about the glare, might not be picking it up, a C, which is a calligraphy, and then a black that is a super fine. So there's 4 pens in here, 3 white, and then 1 black one. I also pulled out some of the Faber-Castell silver. This one is a 251, just in case, and then a white colored pencils as well. So, but like always, if you don't have this particular pens, it's okay. If you want to do just a black pen using a white paper, again, perfectly fine. And then I found some notepads that has blue. I thought it would be perfect to do some snow, against some really dark colors and let that white pen ink pop. So again, 1.5 is your regular bullet tip. Let me just practice. So this is our 1.5. So you can see it has this mono, which means 1. So a 1 line that you're going to get from here, very clean strokes. And I really like this when I have some type of monoline lettering. So look at this, super clean. Not too thin. I think it's perfect, the bullet tip. Like that. So if you're doing any type of lettering like headers and like that, I think the bullet tip is really fun to use. Here we go. And then we'll just go through them one by one. This one is the calligraphy. So when you see a pen that has a C and it's from Faber-Castell, this one is the calligraphy pen. And it has that angled, see this one? It's just really angled. It's like a square. Let's see if that will pick it up. Super angled. And the way you write with this one is a little tricky. I must admit that I don't think this is my strong point using the calligraphy pen. But one thing that I always like to do if I'm going to use a calligraphy pen is going to tilt my paper first to the left because I'm a righty. Now, if you're a lefty, it might work if you will tilt your paper to the right, just because I would really think that doing the opposite of how I would do it will work. But then I'm not a lefty, so please do correct me if you are a lefty and it doesn't work that way. So let's look at what the type of stroke this calligraphy nib will do. So you have this one squarish, really blockish look. And then if you tilt it right like this, you can get a really thin stroke like that. So very clean, thin. So you see that block? Just like that. So this is the letter C. And the way I would write it, now I see that line angled, I would angle it around 45 degree like this. So when I write with it, when I go down, see, it's so pretty, but it really takes a lot of practice. And I need a lot of practice using this. And I'm going to try my hardest to show you guys. So it really truly mimics that old calligraphy style of writing. So this is the calligraphy. I don't know if I can create some snow using this pen. I think I'm going to stick to the 1.5 bullet tip, but look how pretty this is. So if you don't want to mess with that brush calligraphy look that you have to think about, the thin and the thick line going up and down. And the reason why I'm saying that, because that's coming next. So which is the brush tip? This is the letter B that you're going to see. Look at this. So the brush pen is another fun tool, which you can create doing lettering, doing illustrations. There's so many things. It just depends on how you like it. But the way you would use a brush pen just depends on how much pressure you are using when you're depends on how much pressure you apply while you're using it. So when you are going to apply heavier pressure, you're going to create a much thicker stroke. And the way I would use it also is, look at this. My hand is slightly angled, 45 degree angled as well. I'm using the tip and the body by applying pressure. I really bended it down. I'm not sure if this will pick it up. There we go. Let's zoom this in so you guys can see the difference like this. So bending the brush like that will give you a much thicker stroke. See, but if you're going to use the tip of the brush this way, just like that, and then applying really ease up on your pressure, you're going to create a very thin stroke. You're not going to see that, but that's it. So very thin. So in brush calligraphy, when you're doing some type of brush lettering, which I know we'll do a lot of classes this year, it's all about the thin and that thick line. So we'll make sure to tackle that. So make sure to keep looking out for dates of any brush calligraphy soon, because we'll be doing a lot of this. All right, so that's a brush tip in this one. And then the other pen is the super fine, which is a 0.3. So if you like fine lines, then this is a really, really thin like that. So you can create patterns inside your white. So there's so many things you can do. I'll try to like that. So it can create patterns inside. So it will write on top of the white. So because this Pitt artist pens are all India ink and they don't bleed through, and they're also waterproof once they're dry. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to create some snows. Snowflakes. Snowflakes are so beautiful. I used to do photography, and I bought my first macro lens, and that's when I truly discovered the beauty of snowflakes. It's just astonishing how that you don't even see it, through the naked eye. But when you get that macro lens, I mean, all the details, it's just spectacular. I mean, how amazing God is. I mean, to create something like that with just a little tiny speck of snowflake and all the details in there. So I cannot imagine how special we are, and all of this beauty. All right, so snowflake. I want to know, what is it about the snowflake that confused you? Because I will share with you what's throwing me off when I used to create some snowflakes before. All right. You know what? The Pitt artist pens, they are available in many different colors. I believe that we have 60 colors now. You can use it on fabric. I don't know how well it will take it, or how also just depends, I think, on the pressure you're going to apply, how much you're going to hurt the nib, how smooth the fabric you're using. But yes, it does work on fabric too. And I just always use Mod Podge when I, draw on a fabric, and then I Mod Podge it just to seal everything, make sure that it doesn't get ruined. Okay, so for snowflakes, one thing that was throwing me off when I used to do snowflakes is that I was creating an asterisk. So you start with an asterisk. I'm going to start with one. So I want you to doodle an asterisk, one, letter X first, one vertical line in the middle, and then a horizontal line like that. I'm going to put my paper on the side because I might be moving my paper around, twisting it like this. Okay. So from here, I'm not saying that when you draw asterisk, you won't be able to create a snowflake. Yes, you would. I would always start with the tip of my shape. So here I draw, let's start with just drawing a very simple circles. So we'll create some circles on top like that. And I'm going to try to zoom in my camera real quick. Hold on. Just like that. Okay. So now what I would do is, since we have, analyze the space you have in between each, like say triangle or the letter V, right? So we'll start with the wider on top. So we'll start with the letter V. And I like to move my paper around like this, just so I can get a better feel like that. And I'm just going to keep doing it before I point out what's bothering me here. So keep working on your letter V's. Okay. Then I'll start working down, and I'll start create more V's, but much smaller than the first one that we created. Okay, can't help it anymore. I'm going to point it out. What's bothering me here is I feel so cramped. All of that. Look at this one. They're already connected here. I don't like it. The space here is already not there. Okay, so let's try something else. I want you to do this with me. Now we're going to do the letter X, how we started. Just that. And then we'll just draw a horizontal line just like that. Instead of an asterisk, we're just going to do this. And then I'll start again with that dots on top. And I'll start adding my letter V's. And I'll go down. And see this one, it's still going to be spaced out. Now, the problem with that is, the problem is not with the spacing. The problem with me is that how much space in between of my X. So I'm going to try it again, and I'll try one here. So as I'm looking at this, I can see already that this one has so much more space like that. And if you look at this one, it's kind of like a slice of pizza. If I give this to my kids, man, they're going to fight. They're like, why is a slice of pizza bigger than my slice of pizza? It's always going to be that way. So what we want to do is we want to try and get an equal amount of space in between our letter V's in here. So we want to give them just the perfect slice, although I don't think it's ever going to happen perfect every single time because I have been doing this for a long time. And to be honest with you, whether it's slicing pizza or slicing my pie like this to create my snowflake, I always make mistakes. So what happens is that you make adjustment as you go along. So I don't want you to feel like, frustrated already because you can't get enough space between the pies. So I'm just going to try my hardest here. I don't know why I keep making the bottom size. Maybe that's for me. That's my slice. That's why the bottom line is always bigger. Maybe that's my slice of pizza in real life. I don't know how to fix it. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to try. Kayleigh, come on. You can do this. I think it's still, this would be my husband's. This would be mine, the bottom. One more try. Let's do it again. Okay, I'll try it. Right. I think that's good. There you go. I'm sharing a bit more. And then I'll do this. I think that's good. I like this one. So that's one thing that's one way that we can get a much better spacing in between. So what can happen here is that instead of maybe starting from the top, from the outside of our letter, this is an X, a star, or a snowflake, let's start from the inside. And instead of adding V, how about we start with a very small? We start with the dot. Let's fill this one, the middle part. Let's fill it in with a circle. Okay, and then I'm going to fill that space in just like that. Okay, and then instead of a V, I'll start with just lines, a dash. Okay, small. I'll move this one. So move your paper if that's going to help you. I know it does me. Just like that. And this is where you're going to find out the compromise. Because like what I said, unless you're using a ruler to get that perfect space in between, you're just going to have to compromise with the details and the designs that you're going to put inside. Because I know I still have this much bigger space right here, but I'm not going to let that bother me anymore. I'm just going to compromise and adjust my dash in here. So there we go. And then as we go up, I'm going to adjust my size of my dash line as well. I'm going to go a little wider. Come back here and add another one. I hope you're not going too crazy, dizzy with me moving my paper. Okay. I'm going to try not to move it too much. I don't want you to get dizzy. Look, I already messed it up because I didn't flip it. It's already crooked. Okay, I'll fix it. Like that. Now for the top, we can create the letter V. Do you think it's really real that each individual snowflake is different from another? I mean, it's, wow. That's super crazy to think about that. That amount of snowflake. Wow. Okay. I'll start with my letter V. There you go. So that's just one different snowflake. So even with our messing up here, this one looks so different already than this one. So we can still create with an asterisk. We just have to adjust the insides, the design. So I'm going to start creating an asterisk this time, and we're going to work with our designs inside. So I added another vertical, as you can see there, like that. I know, Judith, it's just, it blows my mind to think about it that way. It's really special. Okay, so now let's start adding different size. Instead of a V, we're going to create some humps or a mountain like that. So I'll try not to spin too fast so you guys don't get too dizzy. Just like that. So this is also a fun way to just doodle, not overthinking it. You're just creating shapes. So when you want something to doodle in your sketchbook and your journals, I think drawing snowflakes is super fun because you can really play around with your ideas. Okay, I'm just making sure my lines are pretty much the same. Okay, so from here, I think I'm going to add in the middle, I'm going to fill this one in again. I like that look, right? I really like that look. Then I'll start adding circles this time. Just like that. Like that. And there. This is so pretty already. Then I'll make it much bigger. Like that. Practice really does help. Yes. Oh, Adrienne, you know what? I used to do that too when I was in school. And I didn't know that I'm going to be an artist growing up. I just knew that it was so calming to me, doodling. And it's scientifically proven that when you're doodling, actually, your brain pays more attention to what you're trying to absorb. I didn't know that. I don't think that was the case for me. No, it was the case for me. So this one is super pretty. Oh, that is so pretty. But I'm going to adjust a little bit because I know I have a much bigger space in here. So I'm just going to adjust my circles, make ones bigger than the other. And it's okay. I mean, just like that. I love it. I love it. 6 points. Yeah. So the asterisk really, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's why the first one that we tried, this one, the X and the horizontal, that really is, see, that's what Marival, who shared that? We have Anne. So Anne shared that the fun fact, snowflakes actually form with only 6 points. So that's why this style here, the letter X, this will give us the 6 point, which is actually a snowflake. So let's do that again. So that, look, my big slice of pizza is bigger than everybody else again. We're going to be okay with that. I'll adjust this one, just this one, this one. Okay, so now let's try something else. So we tried this one. I want to start with adding like this. So it's kind of like we're adding like a petal, just like that. See, then I'll adjust this. It's kind of like creating leaves. So the tip of your leaves. So just try adding leaves or petals, whichever you like to call it, just like that. Like that. I mean, the perfection of geometrical spaces of a snowflake is just beyond me. I know I might be saying that over and over in this class. Okay, so now that I have that, I want to actually add a point from the tip. And I'm experimenting here with you guys because basically we're trying to create our own snowflakes in here. So I'm just going to add that point in there too, little one. But the original, I'm going to make it a bit longer so I know which one are those, where my X are earlier. So make that longer, make everything else in the middle much shorter, all right? Just like that. And then I'll add a small point to that line that we added, just like that. That is so different already. That's so crazy. Then maybe to make it look more from here, let's try this. We'll make another leaf. I don't know how it's going to look like, but I will try. Just like that. Okay, and then I think I'm going to enclose it. Fill that in. Just like that. So from here, I'm going to create a leaf. like basically creating, doodling a leaf. And we'll just fill in that. Isn't that fun? We can just keep creating snowflake. Just like that. And I think what will be perfect is that let's come up with a lettering and then we'll decorate everything else, the background with some snowflake to really complete this class. I think that's something that we can do. It's like this. Look at that. Like that. You think we should fill the spaces over here? I don't know. Something's telling me that it's going to look good too. But this already is looking so great. Just like that. I love it. Oh, I love the leaf look too. I'm scared. I'm going to start with a small circle. Just see what it's going to look like if we. Oh, no. This one's not looking like a dot. So I'm just maybe should make my dots much more precise, more clearer, just to fill in the space in between. I don't know. I'm going to stop there because that's so pretty. I love it. Oh, I love it. Super fun. Okay. Another one. Another one before we do our lettering. I love, which one's your favorite? I think I love this one. Ugh, I love this one too. I don't know. I can't pick. Okay, so let's do the 6 points. Again, letter X, and then a horizontal line in between, okay? Adrian said I just accidentally ruined my snowflake because the marker was still wet. Oh, that's true. You know what? It's my problem also. And maybe it's embarrassing to admit, but sometimes my hands get super sweaty. And so the moisture ruins some of the marker inks because I move my hands a lot. I mean, every artist is so different. You know, sometimes I get comments like that, they don't like it when the hands of the artist are all over the canvas or the paper. But I mean, to me, really just finding what works well for you, what's comfortable. I think that's the most important part. Don't try to be bothered, feel bothered with how the rest are doing it because we're all different. Find whichever is the most comfortable to you. Okay. So, all right, I'm going to do the letter X again. I'm going to try to share a bit more and try to really not. This is me trying to share. My line is very crooked. Okay. I'll try my X in between. My line now, the horizontal line in between. All right. Here we go. Well, I think this is the most perfect one I've created. Maybe. Nope, this is too thin. All right, it's okay. Okay, I'll do that again. Okay, so this time I'm gonna create like let's start with the V, very wide one, since I'm gonna start on the outside this time because I've been doing it from the inside. So I'm just gonna be bold and start here. I'm gonna create a letter V in here. Okay, and then I'll try to fill in. Look, this one is much more smaller than this space. Hi. It's okay. We go. I'm just going to make this one just a bit more wider, just to compromise the space. Here we go. Just like that. Okay. Okay. Okay, since we created the petal look, I want more geometrical, which is sharper lines. So I'm going to create a V in the middle, but other way around. The tip would be on top. So it's like making a triangle in between, all right, the spaces. So triangle, but don't draw the bottom line, just like that. Just like that. Just like that. Like that. I'll draw the other one. Just like that. All right, so from this one, okay, from now, I want the top. We're going to create one like that on the right. It's kind of like creating a, what do you call this candy during the holiday? A peppermint, like that. I knew I said I wanted geometrical, but I couldn't help making anything round in here. So we're just going to go for it. Sometimes plans change. This is like the golden arches with Donald's. Okay, I'm going to do this. Just like that and just like that. Now, to make sure that we kind of like make it a little balance, kind of like what we did here. We did the petal and we did the petal over here. So the corners of each of those triangle or the star really inside. So in that point, we're going to create the same style. So we're going to create that too. This is so different. I like this one. Just because it doesn't look like everything else that I created. I don't think I ever created a snowflake that looked like this. So that's good. Just different. I like different. Like that. Like that. Okay. So from here, see the letter V's that we have? I want to put some circles in those. Just so, because it's looking a little too sharp against everything else, against all the shapes that we created inside. So we're just going to add some little dots or circles. And I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. That really turned out super, super. Okay. So now for the lettering part, let's do this because time flies so fast. Can you imagine, guys? It's 5:35 already. Okay. I love it. I love it so much. Okay. So now that we have an idea of creating our snowflakes, I would like to create a lettering piece in here. I'm going to grab another paper, black one. And if you have a pencil, if you want to skip this one and just keep making snowflakes, that's already fine. That's fine as well. So let's create, I'm going to put this one just so I can have an idea of what our snowflake looked like. Simple lettering. Let's do a simple lettering. Baby, it's cold outside. That's too long. Winter Wonderland, like that. Winter Wonderland is long. Winter. I don't know, guys. Help me. Joy. I like joy. I mean, baby, it's cold outside. Winter breeze. I like winter breeze. Let it snow. Let it snow. I like let it snow. Okay. So there's 3 words. This is another tip here. So we're not just doing snowflake, but you're going to learn a little bit about composition when it comes to creating a lettering. And this is how I like to do it when I'm composing a quote, for example. And this one is a bit easier because we only have 3 words. Okay, so let it snow. So we have 3 words exactly. First thing that I look at is my space. I have this big, and I know that I want everything, all my letters to be in the middle because I want to create snowflakes outside, but we want the lettering also to be the highlight of everything. I want it to be the center of attention. So I want the let much bigger. So I'm going to do it like that. And always working with a pencil really does help. So let's do that. I'm going to grab a graphite pencil. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to do this brush script. If you don't would like to do the brush grip, it's okay. If you want it print, that's perfectly fine. Okay. So I'll do the let. I want it to be in the middle. I don't want it going up in here. So basically, I want it to get stuck in the middle. So what you can always do is use a shape. But because this is black, it might be a little hard to see. How about I use my white pencil? That's smart. So I'm going to use my white polychromos in here just so you guys can see it. So I'm going to do a beautiful script of the words let, like that. Just like that. And then I want the word it to be not super big. The let and the snow is the highlight. So I'm going to do my snow first, my letter S. And whatever space I have in the middle, that's where I'm going to put the word it. Like that. And then I'll write the word it in the middle, like that. See, so if you have like in between words, like tiny words like this, you can choose the highlight word. So even if you're writing a much longer quote, for example, winter wonderland, it's not a long quote, like baby, it's cold outside per se, say that's longer, baby, it's cold outside. So you can choose the word baby, the first word, to be the much bigger one. It's cold is another word. And then the other words will be just part of the embellishment. So choose 2 or 3 words that you really want to highlight, make it pop in the middle of the page. And I think that's how I like to do things, So right now I'm looking at my page. This is really my words are much more here at the bottom. I'm not super excited about that, but you know what? It happens. I can erase it, change it, throw this piece of paper and start again, because I want you to understand that when you're creating art, don't be too serious about it, especially if you're doing this for fun, because most of the time we forget that we do this for fun. We get, so hang up with the mistakes and we're just kind of like, oh, I don't like that. I'm going to start all over again. Then you keep doing the same mistake. But one thing is that understanding and really finding out what is wrong with the artwork is the secret of it all. When you understand, analyze your work, look at it and say, how could I make this one better? How could I have made it better? I understand now that looking at it, I could have adjusted my word let a little bit more higher. But you know what? It works. I am not going to fuss all about it. Now I'm just using my eraser, my kneadable eraser from Faber-Castell as well. And I kind of like to lighten my sketch. Even if I'm using a regular pencil, graphite pencil, I like using an eraser just to kind of go over my sketch and just have a perfect silhouette. Now for this lettering, I'm going to use the brush pen, this one that we looked at earlier. Now, if you don't have the brush pen, just use whatever pen you have in there and it's going to work. All right. So again, you're going to notice me. I'm going to tilt my paper to my left. And then the way I'm holding my brush pen is angled. I am not going to letter like this. If you do it this way, I'm going to show you what's going to happen. That's the result that you're going to get. If I tilt it and my brush pen is angled 45 degrees, I'm going to get a much finer thin stroke and a much thicker, wider stroke once I apply the pressure, just because of the angle of how I'm using my pen. So really, those little tips and tricks, I didn't realize that when I was just starting out to practice brush pen. I didn't realize how important it is, the way you handle and the way you hold your brush pen while you're using it. Okay, so the trick when it comes to brush calligraphy is that upstroke, or your upstrokes, or every time you would write away from your body, this is called your upstrokes. This is when you will apply really, really light pressure. And when you write towards you, this is what you call the downstroke. This is when you apply a really heavy pressure. Okay, heavier than usual, but don't stress yourself out too much because you're also going to ruin the nib of your pen. And we don't want that, I mean, just having the perfect difference from the thin and the thick. Because if you don't go light enough, you're going to notice that your lettering is not, why is there no difference from my thin and my thick? It's probably you're not going light enough or you're not doing heavy enough. So it's either one of those. All right. So I'm doing my upstroke, light pressure, downstroke, heavy pressure. All right. So let's do this. Using the tip of the pen, applying really light pressure, I get a very thin stroke. Now I'm going down. I'm going to adjust and apply pressure and use the body as well. And now light again. And then when there's any horizontal lines like this, I go light also. And then the same time, knowing that I can fix this later, I try not to get super crazy stress about it. If it's not thick enough, then guess what? You can add more thickness later. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time. And I think that's what was throwing me off in the beginning of my practice, is that I want to get it the first time around. I want it to be perfectly done. You know what? It doesn't work all the time. So this time, look at me. I'm just adding a bit more thickness in here because the difference from this thickness and the letter T are too different. And notice also that because this is an India ink, you can really layer the ink. At first, it's going to be slightly translucent, but when you add another layer, you get more opacity. So your strokes are more opaque and more saturated, just like that. I'll go over this one again because I want to add a little bit more opacity and more saturation. It's almost like if it's just one layer, it almost looks like it's like chalk markers, So when it's like semi-translucent, it just depends on the look that you want. If you like that semi-translucent, then one layer is good enough. All right, so we'll do the word snow. And I'll go a bit faster this time around just because we don't run out of time. We can add some beautiful snowflakes in this lettering. You didn't realize you're going to get some brush lettering class in here too, didn't you? I figured that it's perfect that we create like a project so you feel like we actually did something in the class. Although the knowledge of just creating some beautiful snowflakes would have been sufficient enough, but I'm with you. I think it's always special. I love creating with you guys because this is what I do every day. But for some reason, when I have, my students and trying to share what I have learned through the years, it really just gives me a sense of calm and joy. Here we go. Let it snow. Now, what else can you do when you have lettering like this? I love to add a little bit of I call them embellishments. Our embellishments would be definitely the snowflakes. Now, I want the snowflakes to be not super big because I want the word let it snow to really be the highlight in here. So that means I'm going to have to be more small, do more snowflakes, which I think it might be a little hard, honestly, because of the spacing, but we're going to try and do it. Now for the embellishments, I like to add like this, 3 rays like that. See that? That's just adds just a little bit. And here, I know I have space in here in the middle. So I really want to fill the space in right here. So I'm going to add the 3 rays too. Just like that. Okay, so now we can start adding our snow. Put that on the side and I'll go back to the 1.5. Okay, I will start with all my 6 points first, the letter X and the horizontal in between that. Okay, so remember, if you want to have a much bigger snowflakes, I think we should add it here in both corners and here. I think that's going to work. So we can add a much bigger one, and then the rest we can actually add just small asterisk and small dots also, and that's going to give us that snow look as well. So let's start with just two. And I'm going to promise. Oh man, I always have the wider part on the bottom. I don't know why. Okay, we'll just add that. I think that's big enough. I think I'm making my slice of the X too big. Let's see if I can correct it here. Okay. All right, Lay, calm down with the pizza. Here we go. That's much better. I'll start with that. Now I'm going to look at the snow that we created earlier, and I want to choose which one I like. Is this the one we created? Nope, that's the one I created earlier. This one. I really love this look. I really like this one too. I like that one too. Okay, I think I'm going to do the circles here at the bottom. All right, so I'll start with the middle, add your circle, and then fill in that. Okay. And then we added a hump like that. I'm going to move my paper around just like that. Like that. Look how much wider this part right here. I know, guys, you don't have to tell me. I know. My goodness. But it's okay. It's important to give ourselves grace when we make mistakes, because from those mistakes, we can only get better. All right. And then now I'm going to start adding my dots or my circle. Just like that. And then now we start adding a much bigger one. Okay. Like that. Like that. And then if you cover the tip of that, you can just add more on the end, okay? Because I like this. This one's much shorter than everything else. So I just added one like that. And then, okay, I'm gonna adjust this so it doesn't look too wide. Now I want to play around with this because I feel like it's not symmetrical. So I'm gonna add in between the little tiny humps that we created, I'm just adding a line, a vertical line going out just like this. It's like that. And then I'm going to fill this in with another dot. So this is another design, different than we did earlier. So we're just adding more. Oop, I missed one. There you go. I like it. Looks pretty. Oh, thank you so much, Sam. That means so much to me. All right. Okay. So you know what, Judith, we might have time. You know what? What? 5:52 already? This is ridiculous. What? All right, let's go finish our snow. I swear I thought I have more time than that. You guys, I'm having too much time with all of you. Okay, I think I'm going to do the petals. I really enjoy that petals. So again, I started with my middle, and then we're going to fill in this space right here with the petal. All right, I'm going to go a little faster. So don't leave me, guys. We have more minutes to go. I'm not going to leave you. We're going to finish this. There we go. That's so pretty. Okay. And then from this end, we added some dots, the tip of her, like that. Just like that. Okay. And then all the lines sticking out, we're going to fill that in with another leaves or petal like that. So pretty. Just like that. That's like that. And I think having that point on top really does help to find your middle. Those little tiny things like that are a game changer, you know? So instead of trying to find, oh, where do I end? Where do I find that pointy end? Because we have that line, you can already know where our middle part is. So that's always helpful. And also, you can play around. You can make your like petals a bit more wider than how I'm doing it, or make it more narrow. So those little changes, the more you doodle, the more you play, the more you create, the more you find things that, you know, you really like, because we're all different. We're all unique like that. We're just like snowflakes. We're just so beautiful. Okay, how I like my, what am I saying? Uh, how I like to fill in this page, how I would like to fill in this page, I draw some asterisk around, even though, you know, the snowflake, fun fact, is 6 points. An asterisk will have an 8, but because we're going to run out of super crazy time, I'm going to draw some asterisk around it. Judith is asking if we can create a snowman. I think we can. What do you guys think? I'll show you a fast way how to create a snowman. I love making snowmans. And like snowflake, there's many, many different ways that you can create snowman, which is the crazy thing. So I'm just drawing asterisk all around. And then I'm also going to add some dots. So it kind of looks like, it's going to look like there's snow everywhere. And for this one, I'm going to use the 2.5 bullet tip. This one is a much bigger tip. This one, same India ink, same from Faber-Castell, but it creates this perfect dot. I'm going to show you. I'm just using the tip of the pen, and I'm just using that to create this perfect. It's kind of like, reminds me of bingo markers. You know, when you do the bingo markers, you have this perfect circle. So this reminds me of that. I have that perfect dot, go all over and here. I'm going to fill that in. Look how crazy cute this is. This is so cute. It's honestly super pretty. This can turn into a card. You can hang this one. You can do many, many fun things with this. Okay, for the snowman, I'm going to make it super simple. I draw it, many people draw it so differently. I like mine round and cute. So I start with my head, circle, snowman. Now for the body, it's not circle, it's not oval, but just like almost in between of that. See? And I'm just going to fill this in like here. I'll fill this right in also. Now I'm going to need like that. That's my perfect snowman. I'm going to need some different markers for this one. But before I do that, I'm just going to add some white in here just to make it look like there's like snow. Again, using the tip of this marker like that. Just like that. Okay. And I'm going to use my brush pen to create a hat. I start with the top like that, and I create 2 lines, 2 diagonal lines just like that. I'll close it in. Remember when you're doodling and when you're drawing, try not to overcomplicate things in your head. Look at everything as just a shape. What is the shape of the top hat? Try not to overcomplicate things and just create it just how you would see it. And then you can adjust things. Oh, it's too wide. Oh, it's too thin. Oh, it's too small. Then you just keep adding strokes in between that. But basically, that's our snowman right here. But I'm going to have to draw a face because I can't do it like that. So I'm getting some colored pencil. These are the Polychromos pencil. Wait till it's a little more dry. And I'm going to grab something. I'm going to choose blue for the scarf. So I'm just going over it. Might not be wet. Yeah, it's a little still wet. So since we don't have a lot of time, we're going to go with the Pitt artist. This is the Pitt artist that we're using, but in different color. So you can see you can layer it, all that. So we add the scarf in here, just like that. And if you want to add a line for the top hat, just like that. And then we're going to add a face. So remember, this kit comes in with the 0.3. You can choose to add this one. I'm going to grab the orange one for the nose because the snowman is nothing without its nose. So I'm just going to add this orange thing there. And then we're going to draw 2 dots for the eyes and some dots again for its mouth. I'm going to add the rocks in here. But because it's semi-translucent, it really does give me that snow look. I'm going to use the white to create the branch because this is a white paper. We won't be able to see it, but just to finish him up, we're just going to add some of that white like that. And I'm going to close this in just because. Just like that. And then you can draw some snow falling around it. And then you can add more smaller dots all around your paper also. But that's it. We created a snowman. We created some snowflakes. We created a beautiful lettering. We learned about the fundamentals of lettering, the fundamentals, how to put together your snowflake. But that's it. I thought it was, I love it. I wasn't expecting, when we first started this class, I thought we were just going to learn how to create the snowflakes. But look at us. We did some brush lettering. We created some snowflake and we created snowman. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this class. Thank you. Thank you all so much for your kind words. In behalf of Faber-Castell USA, again, my name is Bella Ralston. We'd like to thank you all for joining us tonight. And if you're watching this on replay, we hope you can join us every Wednesday of this whole year of 2023. I'll be teaching you new things every week. Again, thank you all so much. Have a beautiful evening. I'll see you next time. Stay creative and stay happy, everyone. Bye.